Hello, aspiring educators. Welcome to our comprehensive licensure examination for teachers review. I'm Professor Eric, and today's topic is the fascinating learning theory of classical conditioning by Pavlov. Let's dive in. Classical conditioning is a learning theory developed by Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov. This theory revolves around learning through association. In his famous experiment, Pavlov discovered that dogs could learn to associate a neutral stimulus, like the sound of a bell, with a significant event such as receiving food. Over time, the dogs began to salivate just at the sound of the bell, even without the food being present. Now, in simple terms, classical conditioning occurs when a once neutral stimulus triggers a response because it's been repeatedly associated with another stimulus that naturally causes that reaction. Let's break down the three most important concepts of Pavlov's classical conditioning. 1. Unconditioned stimulus, UCS, and unconditioned response, UCR. These are natural instinctive reactions to stimuli. For example, food, UCS, naturally causes salivation, UCR, in dogs. 2. Conditioned stimulus, CS, and conditioned response, CR. When a neutral stimulus, like the bell, is repeatedly paired with the unconditioned stimulus, it becomes a conditioned stimulus. Eventually, it triggers a conditioned response, like salivation, even without the food. 3rd, stimulus generalization and discrimination. Learners may generalize their conditioned responses to similar stimuli, but they can also discriminate between distinct ones. For example, a student may respond positively to praise from one teacher, but not from another. Understanding Pavlov's classical conditioning has key implications for education. Here's why it matters for you as a teacher. 1. Creating positive learning environments. Teachers can use positive associations to make learning enjoyable. By pairing lessons with positive stimuli, like encouragement or engaging activities, students develop a sense of curiosity and enthusiasm for learning. 2. Overcoming negative associations. In some cases, students may associate certain subjects or classroom tasks with anxiety or fear. Teachers can apply classical conditioning to replace these negative associations with positive ones by gradually introducing enjoyable and stress-free experiences. 3. Building classroom routines. Classical conditioning can help create smooth and predictable classroom routines. For example, specific cues or signals, like a bell, a clap, or music, can condition students into responding appropriately to transitions or activities. Now that we understand the theory, let's discuss how it's applied in real-life situations, especially in education. Here are 3 examples. In the classroom, a teacher uses classical conditioning by associating positive reinforcement with good behavior. For instance, a student performing well on a quiz hears encouraging words like, "Great job." When this happens consistently, the student begins to associate quizzes with a sense of accomplishment and excitement rather than anxiety or fear. Classroom transitions can benefit as well. For example, a teacher plays calming music after recess every day. Over time, the music conditions students to settle down and focus without needing verbal reminders. In reading activities, an English teacher might pair storytelling with exciting visual aids or voice acting to make reading a conditioned activity associated with fun and creativity. At home, parents can apply this concept by associating homework with enjoyable experiences. For instance, after completing homework, a child might receive verbal praise or enjoy a short activity they like. Repeatedly, this conditions the child to feel positive about completing homework. To instill good hygiene routines, parents might pair teeth brushing with a fun song. Over time, the child associates brushing with the playful activity, making it a more enjoyable habit. Chores can also be conditioned positively. Say, after a child finishes their chores, they get an additional story at bedtime or an extra 10 minutes of play. Eventually, chores become less of a negative activity. In the community leaders might encourage youth programs by associating participation with positive outcomes. For example, after attending a workshop, participants receive certificates, conditioning them to view learning events as rewarding experiences. Public campaigns use similar strategies. Playing catchy jingles or slogans alongside messages about cleanliness can help condition communities to adopt healthy behaviors, such as proper waste segregation. Social conditioning can be seen through events that pair participation with recognition. For example, a neighborhood cleanup may reward participants with public acknowledgments or tokens, conditioning them to associate community service with pride and belonging. In summary, classical conditioning by Pavlov is a foundational learning theory that shows us how behaviors can be shaped through association. As future educators, you can use this effectively to create positive, engaging, and supportive learning environments in your classrooms, at home, and within your communities. Thank you for watching, and remember, your ability to shape learning experiences goes beyond the classroom itself. Good luck on your licensure examination for teachers, and I'll see you in the next review session.
Thank you so much for watching. Before leaving, please do click the like, subscribe and get notified buttons.